What's up, everybody? So today we're gonna go over 5 reasons why I absolutely love the Nissan 370Z. I've owned this car now for a little more than 3 months, and it has been an absolute beast to own. It's been somewhat of a dream car since this car came out. I've always thought the 350Zs were cool, and the 370 I was a huge fan, and when I was finally able to actually buy one, it was an awesome opportunity to get a car that I've always really wanted. So anyway, let's start with number 1, first reason why I truly love the car, and this is one of the biggest things about this car that I really like. So number 1 is the straight line acceleration. You get about 332 horsepower from this engine with 270 pound-feet of torque. The 0 to 60 time is 4.6 seconds. That's pretty quick for an affordable car in the low to mid $20,000 range. 4.6 seconds is plenty quick when you're out on the road, and when you're accelerating in the car, it never feels like it's struggling. It gets up right to the speed limit and maybe then some a little bit. As soon as you could ever imagine, right when you punch it in the right gear, the car just takes off. And I'm finding that I'm not looking to get every little bit of horsepower out of it. I'm not trying to find every single type of modification to get a horsepower or two out of it. It seems like even in the stock format, the throttle response is insanely sharp, and just the whole acceleration is plenty for the streets. And I'm finding that this car never has an issue accelerating. It doesn't seem like it struggles to get up to speed. All you have to do is drop it to the correct gear, and the moment you floor it, the car just takes off like a rocket. So going 50 miles right now, 50 miles an hour, put it into 4th gear, and that was about 15 more miles an hour in pretty quick time. And it's cool to have a car that you can get up to the speed limit so quickly. It doesn't struggle, it doesn't seem like it's itching for more horsepower. And I've noticed that myself as an owner wanting to modify the car, I don't find myself just having that urge to get every single type of performance part possible to get every little bit of horsepower. It is as quick as it needs to be. Any modification I do to it is simply just to make it maybe throttle response a little bit better, and really just to make it sound good. But the way it reacts when you punch the gas is fantastic. Straight line driving is one thing, and it's fun to have a fast car, but you quickly realize anybody can drive a quick car in a straight line quickly. That's really not that impressive. So that leads me to number 2, which is the handling with this car. I am so impressed with how flat this car turns. It doesn't have pretty much any body roll. It takes the turns so easily, so quickly. The steering is insanely sharp and direct. And with a limited slip differential in this car, when you come out of the turns and put the power to the ground, you don't have to worry about wheel spin. It's just insanely planted. The brakes also do a fantastic job slowing you down when it's needed. And along with the normal handling, when it is raining out, you can have a little bit of fun drifting. The car seems to, you can get the tail out really quickly by just punching it in 2nd gear, and it doesn't seem to roll at all when you do drift it a little bit. It's really flat and planted. The rear end just is kind of sticking out, and the steering and the whole control, you can easily maintain a drift, or for safety reasons, just recover the drift and get back to going straight. Feel the G's. Dang, so far, haven't heard any tires squealing. I mean, it's staying pretty planted.
This is where I just punch it. Nope.
So now on to number 3. The third thing that I really love about the car is this manual transmission. Now, in a previous video, I talked about how the clutch is a little weird getting used to. It does take a little bit of practice to make smooth downshifts and upshifts when you're not in sport mode. But the whole transmission, just the shifter itself, is probably one of the nicest features of this car. It has relatively short throws, and when you're in sport mode, it does rev matching downshifts and assisted upshifts. So going to third gear, right when I put it into third, it'll actually hold the RPMs, and just letting off the clutch, it'll be perfectly smooth. And then of course, when you do need to downshift, when you're on the track or the mountains, it'll rev match perfectly smooth every single time. And I think the whole pedal placement and everything in this car is really good too. When I'm not in sport mode and I want to do rev matching myself, it's super easy to do my own downshifting, doing the heel toe method. I can easily put my foot on the brake, flip the throttle, and get a good smooth downshift. So on top of the downshifting in the car, the upshifting is really nice. It's got pretty short throws, and it's so easy just to pop it in gear. When you're making the second to third gear change, that's always a little bit challenging just because you're going forward, to the right, and back forward again. But in this car, you simply just push it forward and it will basically just automatically go to third gear. Just like that, we're in third gear, and it is just so incredibly quick. So now getting onto the road, doing a quick upshifting through the gears. I never find myself struggling to find a gear. I haven't grinded the gears or missed a shift at all. It's just very direct. Every gear is in the right spot, and it's a fun transmission to use. For number 4, the driver view and the overall driver position is something that I really like. When I bought the car, I talked a lot about how aggressive it looks looking out of this vehicle. It's so cool seeing the hood. You can see the different lines in the hood, and there's one directly in front of you as the driver, and it gives almost like a driving line on the hood, and it's just really aggressive to look out of. And then I think the seat, the steering wheel, like I said with the shifter, it's all in a good place. The steering wheel itself has a great feel to it. You got nice little thumb bolsters for it, little notches on the bottom, so when you're taking a turn, you can kind of feel out the steering wheel. And when you're out on the track, you really have a good control of the vehicle. The seat can be put in the correct place, same with the steering wheel. So you have a lot of control, and it looks really sweet looking out the front end. So to move on to the 5th and final thing I love about this car, now this number 5 reason really isn't too specific, it's pretty vague. Number 5 is the overall car I like a lot. So number 5 isn't too specific, obviously, but I just like the whole package of the vehicle. It looks pretty awesome from the outside, really sharp styling. It looks like a sports car, just a normal coupe. Looks really sweet. You get awesome brakes for it, a limited slip, and sweet looking wheels with the sport package. The interior, I think the quality is really nice. Some may disagree, but I think it looks fantastic. Nice leather and micro suede on the seats. Nice looking leather with perforated leather on the sides of the steering wheel. Cool leather look on the dash with more white stitching. And the overall feel of the interior is pretty high quality, having the navigation system, and just the fit and finish I would say is pretty good, especially for a car in this price range. And just reading all the comments from people who do own these cars and are fans of them, there's not really any shortcomings in performance. It's as quick as you could ever need it out on the main roads. The handling is fantastic, how planted it is. The power is awesome. The overall shifter feel and everything about the car just seems to work really well together. And the car has, I would say, a really good balance of performance, looks, and just the overall characteristics of a fun sports car. Well, there you go, everybody. Those are 5 things I love about this car. I truly love almost everything about it. It is a blast to drive, and it's almost like every time I get in it, it's a new adventure. It seems like a well-balanced, fun-to-drive sports car that has pretty much anything I could expect in a car like this. Enough space for what I use it for, and just the fun factor is what I bought when I bought this car. My car is a 2012. I bought it with 22,000 miles on it. The price was low to mid $20,000 range. Fully loaded, everything in it, sport package, tech package, and it is a touring model. And there are some with a little bit higher mileage and less features for obviously a lower price. So there's a good chance you will be able to find a 370Z in your price range. And overall, I think it is one car that you'll never regret owning because it is just a blast every time. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to give us a high five and subscribe. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram for more photos of the 370Z. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next video.